We're back inside our Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center, sponsored by Acres, the Midwest's premier John Deere dealer supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Acres, solutions for every field. Delighted to be joined in studio by the interim president of the University of Nebraska, Chris Kabourek. We actually had you scheduled last week, but you were over at the State House doing your job, and sometimes those days can get a little lengthy. So we missed you, but we're glad you're with us here tonight.
Well, thanks, Greg. Always great to be with you. Sorry about the little reschedule. Yes, always good to talk to our 49 friend at the legislature every weekend, but happy to talk about Husker sports with you tonight.
Very good. Before we get into the sports talk, we've got our YouTube chat room open tonight. People are like, well, the president's on tonight because there was this emergency Board of Regents meeting today. Can you share anything with us?
Well, I'm hoping, we talked last time. I do a little coaching of my son's team, and yesterday we won our league tournament. So I'm hoping the board went to the session, to do a resolution about how we won the league tournament last weekend. The board met. They went right in the closed session, so I'm not privy to any information that anybody else is. I assume it had to do with their process of the search, which continues, but my understanding, no announcement was made today, so but I think that's what they met about.
Okay, very good. Well, let's talk a little Husker sports. I know you love talking about that. You love basketball, refereeing basketball. The Husker seasons are going pretty well, aren't they?
It's that time of the year when the referee, once the calendar turns to February, coach is a little bit more intensive, players a little more intense as we approach March Madness. So the basketball junkie, it's a great time of year. On high school, we're approaching district, state tournament play. So really excited. And I heard you and Jessica talking about it, but, let's start off with the Iowa win by the women's. I mean, incredible win. I was there. It was a lot of fun. Couldn't agree more with you about the play of Alexis Markowski.
Yeah.
I mean, I go back as a coach and think about some of the big threes she hit in the second and third quarter when it almost felt like, Iowa was ready to take that knockout punch, and for her to step up and make those. And then for us just to compete in that fourth quarter was so fun to watch. So, and then, great job by the men, by Fred and the team here. I was at the Penn State game, just played really fabulous second half. Guarded, the best I've seen them guard all year. And I heard you guys talk about, hopefully we'll just get a couple wins by both of them. And I'm really excited about what our March Madness prospects might look like.
Should be good. And because you wear multiple hats, let's wish UNK and UNO teams good luck as well. Hope that they have a successful end of their years.
Absolutely. I mean, I'm glad you said that because, at UNO, our Mavericks, they're having both great programs. A couple new coaches there that are still in their second year with Coach Crook at UNO. And Kearney, a little bit of a coaching transition there, but, they're fighting each and every day in the MIAA, which I know a lot about. I referee in the MIAA, one of the
tough leagues.
I would say it's probably the premier basketball conference in Division II. So, kudos to all of our programs for the success they've been having this season.
I'm a bit of a closet UNO hockey fan, and they're ranked, so good luck. Get to the Frozen Four, guys. That would be fun. So good for that. You've talked in the past about celebrating the best and the brightest students, about five-star academic performers. We talk about 4 and 5 stars a lot on Sports Nightly. You recently announced this new presidential scholars program that will help us just to do that, keep the best students right here in Nebraska. How's that going? Tell us more about that.
We were really excited about a couple weeks ago to join Governor Pillen, members of the Board of Regents, state senators, and other higher education leaders to announce the new President's Scholarship Program. And it's simply, if any Nebraska kid scores a perfect 36 on their ACT test, which all juniors in Nebraska are required to take, they will get what we call our 5-star academic scholarship. Total cost of attendance, so we pay for your fees, your tuition, your room and board, your books. And just like some of our athletes, you'll get a $5,000 stipend to do whatever they want to. And so it really came down to, Greg, I say this on your show a lot, but we need to go compete. We first need to make sure we tell those kids we want them to stay in Nebraska, to study here, hopefully get an internship here, take a job, start their careers and their families here in Nebraska. But I've just heard too many stories. I've seen it with my own kids and their friends of other institutions around us just simply outcompeting us in terms of what they can offer in terms of scholarships and other things to these students. And we just can't, we got a lot of great homegrown talent here in Nebraska, just like we talked about in Husker athletics. And we just need to make sure those students know we want them and that we're going to keep them. And so I can't thank Governor Pillen enough for his partnership on this. From the top from the governor's office to the board of regents to the senators, we're all aligned, and this is going to be really important. And I intend to get out and see all of these kids and let them know, hey, we need you here in Nebraska.
Fantastic. Again, visiting with Interim President Chris Kabourek here on Sports Honey. When I see Chancellor Bennett, he likes to always talk about research, so I'm going to go there next. On the academic research side, you recently got a nice leg up with a new model around how you report your research expenditures. What can you share with us about that model, and why does that matter?
So, great question. And so, if we've been doing a lot of study in terms of, you know, how can the University of Nebraska better compete, particularly with our Big Ten peers? And some of these are just like, they're things we can just get out of our own way. And if you look at most of the Big Ten peer institutions, their academic health science center, their College of Medicines are integrated with the flagship land-grant institution, where in Nebraska, decisions made many, many decades ago, we keep those two separate. And so when you look at Big Ten, particularly research academic rankings, UNL compared to Ohio State you're looking at not only apples and oranges, but maybe I would argue apples and Volkswagen, because of the two different structures, where Ohio State is one comprehensive medical college flagship compared to UNL. So we've been asking our questions, and I give a lot of kudos to Dr. Bennett and Dr. Gold, the UNMC chancellor, about, you know, are there ways we could better collaborate, work together? And in short, we've been working with the National Science Foundation on what would it take for us to combine our research reporting expenditures. And so, long story short, after some really good conversations with the National Science Foundation, starting next year, we will report our research expenditures for UNL and UNMC as a combined entity. And what that means, Greg, is we go from like 122nd in the country to like 64th. And we haven't even started to go set our priorities around researchers and funding we're going to go after. So we're just right outside Iowa. And I've set a goal to Dr. Gold and Dr. Bennett, like, let's go take them down. And then let's go take down Indiana and then Purdue. So we're going to go compete. We're going to get them. We're really excited about that and moving forward with that initiative.
And I know a lot of this is a part of trying to rejoin the Association of American Universities, it's known as the AAU. Why is that important?
It's important for a couple of reasons. You know, with the additions of USC, UCLA, Washington, and Oregon now into the Big Ten, there's 18 institutions in that conference. 17 of those 18 are members of the AAU, the American Association of Universities, the most prestigious academic research university in the country. And so Nebraska is the only one not. And, you know, that's disappointing to me. And I think it's time to not accept that we are the only one not in the AAU. And when we were at one time, but for a number of reasons were removed, 10, 12 years ago. So, but when I go back home to Davis City or talking to people who maybe don't understand higher ed like we do here, I'm like, you know, just drop the acronym. Don't worry about AAU. What this is a public declaration that we're going to go compete with the best of the best. And if we do that, that should be a win for Nebraska. It's good for our students and the value of their degree. It allows us to go probably attract a different pool of talent for our faculty and researchers that are, you know, doing world-class research or training our next set of doctors or rural health care workforce. So we think that's really good for Nebraska. Whether we get back into the AAU or not is really not the question. That's really not out of our control. And as a coach, I tell my kids, you know, control what you can control. And so we're going to go compete. We're not going to take a back seat to Iowa or Wisconsin or Indiana or anybody. And so that's really what, from my perspective, why getting back into the AAU is really important.
Very good. I probably should have started with this, but last Friday you received your medallion as the official interim president of the University of Nebraska. Congratulations on that. Your thoughts about that and your thoughts about what's ahead for you in the next few months?
Well, thank you very much. You know, I'm almost 2 months into the job now, and it's really been surreal. You know, from a kid growing up in David City, the first in his family to go to college, to have this opportunity to serve Nebraska is anything unlike I ever would have dreamed of or thought possible. So it's a tremendous honor. I'm very humbled. It takes a whole team of us to do this. It's just not me. So it's really, really been great. But, you know, we are just full speed ahead on our plan, and that's about competing, you know, getting back to the AUs, you know, setting a strategy to do that. And that's really around three things in my mind. First, I really want to go reconnect with all Nebraskans, not just Omaha, Lincoln, Kearney, but everybody in Nebraska, and how we want them here, and the university can provide a tremendous opportunity for them if they're willing to make the investment and come here. Two, working with our leadership teams to really rally around a set of priorities that are important to Nebraska and where our strengths are. And some of that will be tied into those AAU goals. And then number three, I think I've heard Trev say this, Nebraskans expect to win. And so do we. And just more being public that we're going to go compete, whether it's for our kids, on the basketball court, on the wrestling mat, just sending that message to Nebraska. I think Nebraskans have been yearning for that competitive fire, not just from the athletic department, but from the academic and research side as well. So that's what gets me excited every day. We roll up our sleeves every day, working hard to go compete for Nebraskans, and hopefully if we pull this out, they'll be proud, and we'll win a few at the same time.
Very good. Well, again, congratulations on that. Looking forward to our visits here in the coming weeks, and we'll be flipping that to March, one of your favorite months right there.
March Madness, here we go.
Thanks, Chris.
Thank you.
Interim President of the University of Nebraska, Chris Kabourek, here on Sports Sunday. We're back with more coming up.